What's up, nerds? Welcome back to Guys That Magic. Today, we're doing Resolving the Stack. We got some more news to talk about, and we're going to resolve it from top to bottom. We're doing something a little different today. I'm alone again. Comic-Con is happening in San Diego today, or I guess this whole weekend, and I took today off from Comic-Con to make a video. Hunter's down there right now, having a blast, seeing a bunch of cool stuff. But that's a good segue into our first news story. Comic-Con's been happening all weekend, and we've been getting spoilers for Spider-Man. Are you surprised about that? Because I'm not. Edge of Eternity is quite literally just coming out, and we're already moved on to the next thing, which is crazy. So, Spider-Man spoilers. We got a lot of spicy things to talk about. They're showing off a bunch of cool comic book art, showing off some cool new cards. There was a panel that spoiled a lot of Spider-Man stuff. Hunter and I got to be there for that, and that was awesome. Mark Rosewater went through and just talked about a bunch of new cards coming out, showed off the art for the cards. Originally, I wasn't too excited about Spider-Man, but after seeing all the new art and new cards and everything, it's kind of looking cool. I know it's kind of a bummer that we're just getting spoiler after spoiler after spoiler, but Spider-Man's looking pretty cool so far. But the spoilers don't stop with Spider-Man. Not only do we get Spider-Man spoilers this weekend, we're also starting to get Avatar spoilers, which is nuts, because then it's like, okay, we just got Edge of Eternities. We're spoiling Spider-Man just to keep the hype alive. And just in case you want even more, we're getting Avatar. So we got some Avatar cards. At Comic-Con, they were giving out promos for Avatar, which is pretty crazy. They're giving out Katara, the Fearless. We'll go over it pretty quick. It's a green, a white, and a blue for 3/3 human warrior ally. It says if a triggered ability of an ally you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Yep, it's just another one of those. You get double triggers, but now it's specifically only for allies. Cool. Not too splashy for a promo, but still kind of cool to see Avatar cards already. And then right before we started recording this Resolving the Stack, they spoiled another card from Avatar. They showed off Yi, the Moon Spirit. 3 and a blue for 3/3 Spirit ally. It's got flying and vigilance, and it has water bend. And we finally see what water bend is all about. Or I guess bending in general. You can pay 5, tap it. You may cast a non-creature spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. That one seems way more spicy than the Fearless, or whatever we just talked about a minute ago. Because this is now giving you the ability to just tap for 5 and cast anything. That's huge. That's really cool, dude. So this card's a little more spicy in my opinion. Also, really cool art. So I guess if you're excited for Avatar, like this video, because we're already talking about Avatar, which is nuts. It kind of feels like Magic as a whole is like, what's been working? Keeping hype alive since Final Fantasy? Let's keep that hype going nonstop. And it's a little, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little overwhelmed with it. Not so much burnt out yet, but I can see myself getting burnt out in the future. I'm not worried about that. But that'll move us into our next news story. Hasbro had their earnings report quarterly like they always do. And they have some pretty interesting numbers that popped up. It looks like Hasbro as a whole is up $247 million. And you're like, wow, a lot of money, huh? And you can see the breakdown of where the money's coming from. And it appears that Wizards of the Coast and Digital Gaming is helping with $242 million of that whole profit, which is nuts. You can see other places there. Consumer products, 1 million. Entertainment, 10. And then, of course, that Wizards is 2. Like, basically, this is just showing that Hasbro is just pushing Magic to the forefront because look how much money it's making them. It's pretty ridiculous. There was a little section going over how Lord of the Rings took 6 months to deliver $200 million in revenue, and Final Fantasy took 1 day to get that exact same revenue. That is mind-blowing. But I guess it isn't, because we know Final Fantasy is a huge franchise. I would have thought Lord of the Rings would have done a little better, but yeah, Final Fantasy taking 1 day to get 200 million in revenue is crazy. Hasbro CEO also put out a pretty lengthy and interesting response to the whole thing. I won't bore you by reading all of it, but the interesting things that I saw out of this was that Tarkir Dragonstorm was on pace to becoming top-selling Magic Premier set of all time, which is crazy. That's the universes within, and Tarkir, I guess, Dragonstorm, is about to be the best-selling set ever. I wouldn't have guessed that, but I mean, it's a great set. I just wouldn't have guessed best ever. That's really crazy. Another interesting thing in this whole long paragraph was talking about how MagicCon is just growing. I guess the last MagicCon they had in Vegas sold over 19,000 badges, which is crazy because it eclipsed the previous high, Chicago, earlier that year, which, hey, good for us. MagicCons are only getting better, better and better and bigger and bigger. But then the way they closed it, a little scary depending on how you read it. Good, it's definitely good, but scary. Simply put, Magic is stronger than ever, and we're just getting started. So as a Magic fan, I love hearing that. I love hearing that Magic is doing fantastic. But then I just talked about how I'm getting a little bit burnt out on spoilers. So that last part of that we're only getting started is kind of scary because I'm like, wait, we're just getting started, so it's gonna get worse. I mean, we're just gonna be nonstop in spoiler season. I guess that's good. I have no idea, but that's where we're at right now. The last bit of news we want to talk about is Hasbro's hiring a judge manager, which is pretty interesting because I feel like in the past they've come out and said they're not too crazy about the whole judging and whatnot, but now they're kind of like, all right, we're doing a complete flip. We really care about our judges. We want to bolster them. We want to manage them. This is probably good for paper Magic going forward. I like seeing this. It makes for better tournaments. It makes for better content for all of us because there are people that want to cheat. And not only cheating, but I guess just keep an eye on the game. That's cool. I like to hear this. And that will take us to the last section, which is the community spotlight. I like to go through the community, check out really cool stuff, either being, different custom arts, really cool stories in the Magic community. Let's talk about them. The first spotlight we wanted to bring up is a name I'm going to butcher. Ikabento. User Ikabento. Sorry, I know that's probably not how you say it at all. But he's got a really cool picture here to show. He's been collecting every single pre-con since the beginning. And he's collected 151 of them. And they're all sleeved up. And they're all right here. That's wild. I can pick out some of these that I have, and they're really good. But, like, you can go through and just see, yep, there's the beginning. Like, all of the beginning ones. And then, boom. All the ones that have been coming out recently. This guy has put up quite a bit of a price tag for these. I think in the description he mentioned that he spent around like $13,000, which is crazy. But he's got them all. He said he's stopping now, though. He said this is a good time to stop. I'm putting an end to it. Got the original 151. Kind of like Pokemon. Next up in the community spotlight, we have a returning user. User MRB Alters with another awesome Dr. Seuss style token. This time being a sliver. I love this. The artwork is fantastic. And then the text on there is just so tongue-in-cheek and just like it goes perfect with the Dr. Seuss. Slivers all love to share in the fun. He's not very big. Just a little 1/1. I love this. Super cute. In my Slivers deck, I would run all of these as tokens. And then the last community spotlight, we got user Tabby Cat. And they were showing off some awesome custom little earrings they made for Magic the Gathering. These are, I mean, the card they chose, a little questionable if you ask me, but love what they got going on here. I don't know if I want to be wearing Armageddon in my ears like that, but people might know from a miles away that, yeah, you're that kind of player. But these are really awesome. They said they worked night shifts and they did this to pass time, and that they're a big hit. And these are really cool. I would definitely wear something like this. But that's going to do it for us. And we just resolved the entirety of the stack. Leave me a comment letting me know, out of all these news stories, what was your favorite? Or was there a news story that I maybe even missed? I don't even know. News is just nonstop happening in the land of Magic. A lot to talk about. Also, make sure you like this video if you liked it. Let us know. Let the algorithm know. Subscribe to you guys at Magic so you don't miss out on any upcoming content. We got pre-con upgrades still coming out. After that, we might have some gameplays coming out. Got lots of stuff coming out. You don't want to miss it. In the description, you'll find links to all of our social medias. It'll be just @guys@magic. Check it out. On the screen right now, these are all of our Patreon subscribers. If you want to see what they're seeing, which is early content, exclusive content, check out the link in the description. You'll see a link to our Patreon. Consider subscribing. And a special shout out to our Gains Indestructible tier. Aaron Hill, Aaron Martin, Brian Ganella, Daryl Tripp, Demarion Turner, Doc Jerome, Jasminder Pabla, Jimmy Ward, Jay Pizzle, Kevo, Larry Killian, Samuel Abbott, Thrifty PSGR, and William Colombo. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the extra support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.